Hello and welcome back to BannerKings, and I am very pleased to say that we're going to be attempting a siege where we actually survive. I know, it's actually kind of a crazy notion to expect me of all people, to live, to actually live in a, throughout an entire siege. It's going to be pretty funny. So we're going to just go straight on in here. We're going to take out these guys because they were actually pretty close by to the castle that I wanted to attack. And obviously we really do want to try to prevent that. We want to try to prevent them from causing any kind of problem because they could theoretically gang up in a rather bad way. They could join an army and then they could, you know, do some very bad things to us. But thankfully, we got them. And I was actually able to catch up to them as well. Pretty difficult to do so usually, but no, this time around, no, not bad at all. Where did that javelin go? Did you see that? I have no idea. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, let's do some damage, or not, as the case may be, because let's face it, apparently they do not want us doing any damage. There we go. There's some damage against the archers. That's good enough. That's all I really want. I just want a little bit of damage here and there. Just a little bit of damage. And these guys in the front are extremely well protected, so we're going to have to be super careful on that. But hopefully it's going to be good. I don't know. Should be fine. Should be fine. There we go. Yes, and there's the clash. The clash comes in right now. Absolutely fantastic. This means that I can now run through the enemy's ranks. As you can see, literally just running through them even has the possibility of taking them down. Unfortunately, I am getting stuck because there are just so many in the center here, which is really making things a little bit more uncomfortable than it has to be, but it's fine. It's fine. All I really want to do is just capture that castle nearby, and then we are going to be in a great position. That is going to give me so much cash, and maybe I'm not going to actually ask for it, or I'm not even going to be voting for myself if I'm on the ticket or anything like that. I don't see the point in it, because I do have a town, and obviously my town is extremely far away, so it basically makes no sense at all for us to do anything with it in regards to a castle. But yeah, we're just going to speed everything up here. It's going to be completely fine. We're done, and that is indeed it. Very nice indeed. Look at that, 20 renown, 37 influence, not bad at all. And a hopeful 2 prisoners. I think I should be able to take them prisoner. Yeah, I will be taking them prisoner, just for the moment, because that's the whole point. I basically just wanted to try to prevent them from assisting any of their friends that try to stop us. That's pretty much the entire reason why we even went in against these guys. Alright, so now we can go back to Cranarog, and this is going to be maybe a bit of a difficult one. It depends. It depends on, as I say, it depends on how many people are nearby. But you can see here we have an overwhelming amount of strength on our side right here, and I'm very much hoping that that is going to be enough. I'm going to have to get trebuchets out first rather than the battering ram. Let's get the trebuchets out as fast as possible, and then we'll get the battering ram. I'm not going to get any siege towers or anything like that. I can only just cross my fingers and just say, please, I do not want any of my fellow vassals to come along over here and try to help me. I really do not want that. It is going to be probably one of the worst things that can happen. Is this guy actually coming over here? You better not. He better not come over here. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna punch him in the face. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Alright, so with the final siege piece of equipment almost ready, we are now going to be deploying all 3 of our trebuchets, and then hopefully the 4th one will come up in just a moment. As I say, my new strategy kind of involves just doing that, because if one goes down, then that's okay, because then we can just get another one, another one being built, and then we've got another one to kind of replace it. Obviously, it is better technically to wait for all 4 of them, but I like to get a head start on things just in case. You know, you never know when there's going to be an army that will come along and basically be like, oh yes, we're going to stop you from doing the thing that you wanted to do this entire time. You know, there's all kinds of situations where that could be happening. So I'm very, very pleased that it is not in this case. And as you can see, we are now absolutely 100% prepared. Unfortunately, I am going to have to wait for the nighttime to be over because I don't really want to do this in the night. So I'm just going to wait for them to destroy that catapult, and then we're going to go straight on in. There we have it. Okay, I am extremely excited about this. I am going to have to play this much more patiently, and I know that it's actually quite funny because people, you know, I'm not talking about you here, right? I'm not talking about you here, but I'm talking about people in the past, you know, saying stuff like, you know, BannerKings is too slow, right? BannerKings is too slow. It takes too long to do things, and you know, all that stuff. And sure, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, there's probably some aspects that indeed are a little bit too slow. However, you can customize your experience however you so desire. Now, the thing is, what I wanted to try to say here is now I have to play slowly in the siege because it's very much more realistic than me being a, you know, Rambo-esque kind of character. I literally just cannot go in to the castle and actually do massive damage myself. I cannot do that any longer. I have to fight with my people. You know, I have to literally fight with my people, otherwise we are going to get singled out and killed really, really quickly. As we've seen, you know, as we've seen, it happens almost every single time. So basically, you know, it's all to do with the shall we say, I don't know, the mindset surrounding BannerKings, because it's all to do with literally just being patient, having some patience, you know what I mean? And that's the reason why, you know, in the beginning I was thinking to myself, well, I kind of have to do this way, I kind of have to do trading and things like that. And people were not pleased, you know, people were not pleased at the time. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, people, those same people tell me that I have to play patiently in sieges and stuff like that, and I'm just like, well, that's a little bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, that's a bit strange. Anyway, we will now do massive damage with our mace here. This mace is literally the most powerful mace in the game, by the way. Literally, it is a tier 27 weapon, and let me just tell you, Space Marines use this weapon against Tyranids, and it is, quite frankly, more powerful than a chainsword. I know, it's hard to believe, right? It's hard to believe, but it is true, okay? It is true. And you can see that. I mean, I've killed how many people? 9 people, look at that. I've killed 9 people. That is all you need to know. Me killing 9 people, boom. That's it. You know, that is literally the victory for us. And I'm actually going to be attacking, I'm going to go here by myself. This may be a mistake. This is probably going to be a mistake, all things considered. But I'm going to try this nevertheless, because I think it's going to be fun. I hit him in the head. It did 10 damage. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. That's the one thing about not BannerKings. That's the one thing about RBM that I'm not a big fan of, where, you know, you hit a guy in the face with a massive javelin and he's still alive. You know, that's one of the things that I just go, well, that's a little bit strange, considering he had a helmet on, but the helmet was not even covering his face. So that's one of those things, you know, it's just one of those things. But that's the thing, I'd rather take the way that RBM deals with survivability in comparison to the way that the base game deals with it, because the base game is really fragile now that I think about it. Every single person in a battle in the base game has basically an equal chance to die. Whether that's a peasant or a lord, it doesn't matter, you know. They have an almost equal chance to die, and that, I don't think that's how it should be. I think you should have a much lower chance of having any kind of fatal damage dealt to you as an extremely well-geared, battle-hardened veteran. And the base game doesn't really give you that. Yeah, sure, to a certain degree it does, yeah, absolutely, because, you know, of course, you do have those situations where you're going to be having, you know, pretty hefty armor on, and it's going to be really, really nice, to give you protective qualities and so on. But there's always going to be those moments where you get headshot by something, and I'm talking about headshot by a relatively high tier unit. I'm not talking about, getting headshot by something that is, low tier or whatever. And in those situations, you then just go, well, I died instantly. I died instantly from that thing. And, well, in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't really matter too much. However, there are some times where it's just so annoying, It's very annoying when that kind of thing happens, isn't it? Anyway, we are now done, and I actually took all of the loot. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem as though we actually gained that much, surprisingly enough. We got some throwing pots here, going to sell all these. But yeah, it doesn't look as though we actually gained that much at all, which I am very surprised about, actually. Don't know why, but I guess it's not even that bad, to be honest, because we do get... No, not this. Ugh. Yeah, I want to go here. There we go. Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. Basically, we do get the ability to now take this castle, and yeah, that's the guy right there. Okay, yeah. So yeah, anyway, point is, we got the castle, and that is all that we really wanted to do. I did obviously want to get a little bit more inventory from that. I wanted to get a lot more inventory from that, but you got to bear in mind that this particular castle has just been captured, because basically it was the Sturgians owned it before. And then the Northern Empire came in, and they took it. And so that's the reason why we have a diminished amount of loot. So if we want to get full loot, then we should probably try to target castles that have not been targeted previously, which is obviously a pretty easy thing for us to do. I mean, it's obvious which one has been attacked and which one hasn't, but... then we also have to put ourselves in the direct line of fire, because usually that is going to result in some really, really hefty things. You're going to have huge defenders. You're going to be in the midst of the entirety of the enemy's, battle lines and things like that. Going to sell quite a lot of wood here. I don't really need a huge amount of wood. As you can see, literally, look at this. I can just have 1,000 remaining, and I'm still going to be absolutely fine, which is just hilarious. This is a very nice throwing weapon, though. I think I'm going to get that throwing weapon. That sounds pretty cool. Let's get rid of all of this. There you go. 78,000 only. 78,000. Not really that much. There we go. There's the big money ticket right there. The weapons. And then another 432,000, pretty nice. And how are we doing in terms of saddles? Yeah, we should probably get rid of quite a few of these. As you can see, they are super, super heavy. And let's take a look. No, I don't need any of these, so we could just get rid of all of them. There we go. And then we could take a look at this. Yeah, increase melee damage. I think I'd like to go and increase melee damage. I think that sounds like a really good idea. And do we have anything else here that is... overabundance? Do we have an overabundance of anything? No, it doesn't look as though we have. So I will basically just leave it at that. 463,000. That is not bad work, in my opinion. That is not a bad day's work, if I do say so myself. And Cranarod Castle is now going to undergo a vote. And let's take a look. Okay, so Garios, obviously, he has 100 relation with us still. And then we got these two guys. I'm going to give it to Desporion, or I'm going to vote for Desporion, and that's going to give me a massive relation increase with him, which of course is the main reason why we're doing that, because otherwise, I would just be giving things to Garios all the time. It's not really about the security of the realm, as it were. It's more to do with who can we ingratiate ourselves with. That's what it's all about, basically. Okay, so I'm just going to go over to Sionon real fast as well. I wouldn't mind trying to take this castle over here, because I think that might actually be an original Northern Empire castle. And if it is, that means that their loot is pretty much untouched. So we shouldn't have to worry too much about missing out on cash. So I'm thinking maybe we want to do that. Anyway, there we go. We've ransomed all those people for 29,000. We unfortunately, and this is another one of those big little bugbear moments for me right there, we unfortunately did not get any roguery skill. But I don't know whether that really makes any difference. Okay, so I'm going to recruit some of these mercenaries because I'm kind of curious to see what kind of stats they have, and I can't be bothered to look it up through the... is it these guys? To look it up through the encyclopedia. Yeah, it must be these guys. Okay, so they've got pretty decent bow skill, but their tier 2 units are absolutely awful. So I'm not entirely sure. I thought I was going to get really high tier troops, like tier 4s at least. But apparently they just give you super, super low things. That's a little bit disappointing, I gotta say. Well, what can you do, eh? What can you do? I don't suppose it's particularly bad. Now, here's the thing. Look at this castle. Look at these two castles right here. They have this insane caravan train going on right here. And if I can actually take this castle, while there's a huge amount of loot inside it, we may in fact have an even greater amount of cash available to us, which would be amazing. It would be so, so good. And so I'm thinking, yes, we will do exactly this. And let's actually have a look here. Okay, everything seems to be... yeah, okay, yeah, no, I was wondering for a real quick second where the massive army is, because I don't know whether you saw that, or whether that was before I started the recording, but there were a couple of relatively large armies on our side, and they were defeated by something, and I'm not entirely sure what they were defeated by. Because it said one of them was the Northern Empire, and then the other one I didn't see. So the Northern Empire must have an army capable of defeating a relatively strong force of ours. And so that kind of gives me a little bit of food for thought there. Ah, look at that. It seems like we have a peace agreement with the Joroya, which is obviously absolutely fantastic. This is exactly what I want because, well, the funny thing is with this guy, these guys are not that dangerous, but they have such a small territory. It's actually very difficult to kind of lock them down, as it were. So the only thing I can really say from a tactical, strategical perspective is to basically just allow them to exist until our faction has become super, super strong. And once we've become strong, then we can just go over there and we can just, you know, crush them if we need to. And that seems like a pretty good way to go about it, at least. At least from my perspective, I don't know. Anyway, we do now have 175 in charm skill. Let's have a look. Gonna go for good-natured, I suppose. That sounds pretty good. And we have our third trebuchet up and running. I'm just gonna put that in reserve for a little bit of time. What? Wait. Did I just see a message here? There we go. Okay, so the Joroya basically just wanted to make peace so that they could attack the Azarai. Okay, that's a bit of a weird decision. Ah, there we go. There's the army I was talking about. Okay, so this might be a bit of a problem. Not sure. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to handle these guys. Oh, they're going to go and take Cranarok Castle. What do you bet? I'm actually really surprised that they're not wanting to stop us. That's a bit strange. I personally probably would, if I was that guy, I probably would have gone in against this army right here, because this castle is the thing that's actually worth a huge amount. Not really the, not really Cranarok Castle, but maybe that's just me? I don't know. Maybe, maybe I think it's worth a huge amount, but maybe it isn't. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, the catapult's going to go down in just a moment, and then we will attack. There it is. Perfect timing right there on the side of our trebuchets. They were able to eliminate that catapult at exactly the moment when I wanted them to, which is just before nightfall. And obviously it does make a small difference if you attack in the daytime versus when you attack at night. If you attack at night, then your archers and so on and so forth are going to have a slight accuracy penalty. Same thing with the enemy. But if you attack in the daytime, then obviously you're not going to have that issue. Now, let me see here. Can I utilize my thrown weapons? Maybe. Yeah, that really worked. Yeah, oh, wow, 2 damage. Look at that. Oh, looks like no one's up here. I wasted time coming up here, but, you know, it's a nice view nevertheless, and I actually did think that we're going to be a couple of archers, but apparently that is not going to happen. So, anyway, I can basically just zoom ahead here because most of my forces are now inside the walls. We've gotten the main gate down. Even, wait a minute, we didn't even, the battering ram isn't even here. That is hilarious. So it just goes to show that basically the battering ram doesn't do anything when you have both walls down. It seems like that is a bit of a waste of time, I guess. And there it is. There's the victory. Okay, so I'm extremely eager to see just how much more cash we're going to get for this particular conquering, because the last one we obviously didn't get a huge amount. Okay, so as you can see, the loot is not looking so good. There's not that many things here, but let's actually just take it and see. Yeah, no, it's actually looking maybe even worse. Maybe even worse than what we had before. So this is going to be interesting. Okay, let's go into the trade screen here. Only 9,000. All right. Okay, yeah, that's... it doesn't really matter, but as you can see, look at my weapons. I have barely anything in the weapon selection here. So just going to be selling all of that. And Cranarog has obviously come under siege. So let me actually make my way over to Cranarog because we might be able to stop that army from taking it. Not sure if that's going to really make any difference or whether it's even going to really work. I'm not entirely sure if I really care. That's one of the main reasons. And we are otherwise just going to be voting for this guy because we can increase our relation with him. Look at that massive increase right there. We actually kind of needed it because we were in negative relation with him. And let's see what we can do. Let's see what we could do, because here's the thing. There's 122... What does he have? They have nothing much, actually. They have no Cataphractos units whatsoever, so I feel like I probably could do something here. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Okay. Ooh. Actually, it might be a bit... Oh, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it for fun. I'm just going to do it for fun, and if we end up, you know, if we end up sucking and getting a defeat, then, yeah, that's just how it's going to have to be. That is literally it. Okay, well, let's see what happens. We're in the slight dark here, but that's actually pretty cool. I like fighting in the dark when we have a snow environment. I feel like that really looks super, super cool in comparison to fighting on a dark ground battlefield. Because if you're on the dark ground and it's night, it's basically, you basically can't see anything. Or you can see very, very little. So it's always nice when we actually get the opportunity to fight in these kinds of scenarios. Nice. Okay, that was actually a head hit, but not good enough. Ooh, okay, yeah, we're taking some damage right there. Actually, very surprised. Ooh, seems like the enemy is actually either retreating or repositioning. If they are retreating right here, that's a pretty early indication that we may in fact win. But they may also be luring us into their reinforcement zone. If they do lead us there, then we may in fact have some problems. But, you know, it seems like maybe we'll be okay because obviously they are in fact leading us into their archers as well. I have to be a little bit careful here. My armor has taken a pretty large amount of damage. And so as a result, I'm going to be taking a lot more damage. Especially from all of these infantry that do tend to have spears. They have a lot of spears. Okay, so it seems like that is indeed a victory for us, as you can see. And, well, that... I don't even know what to really say about that, because they had exactly the same combat strength that we did, but I can only assume that the reason why we are achieving victory here is because of our back line. Our back line was completely unassaulted, as you can see right here. They're not being attacked in the least. Look at them. They are completely fine. I don't see any bodies here. There's no one that has been eliminated from our archers. And so I can only assume that my and my cavalry's harassment of the enemy's backline has made a huge difference. I actually got 52 kills as well. 52 kills in that one battle. Very, very nice to see that. Anyway, there we go. Got a massive amount of influence and everything as well. And we can actually now start taking these guys prisoner if we so desire, or we can actually let them go. What do we want to do? I think I'll just let him go. I think I'll just let all of these guys go, actually. Because if they decide to come back, we can just farm them for some more influence. We can farm them for some more renown and everything. And then I'll be pretty happy. You know, that's going to be a pretty decent way to go about things. At least in my opinion. Otherwise, let's go over to Varcheg just now and take a look and actually see just how much loot we gained, because I still haven't had the opportunity to sell what we gained from the castle, and it kind of makes me wonder whether a lot of the goods were actually transported out with the caravans. So maybe it would have been a better idea for me to attack something that isn't being rapidly visited over and over by caravans. Maybe it would have been a better idea for me to go somewhere else, because obviously, as we know, that other castle that we took that had an insane amount of goods inside its marketplace, it probably would have made more sense for me to attack something similar to it. You know, attack something similar to that, where it's kind of out of the way a little bit, and caravans don't go there as much. Maybe that's the secret. But let's take a look. Maybe we'll be surprised. I don't know. I highly doubt it, but maybe we will. Okay, so we'll sell all of this. Sell all of this as 82,000 already. Not too bad. And then the armor situation gives me 126,000. Yeah, this is actually not so bad, but it doesn't give me any leg armor. It doesn't give my horse any leg armor, which I'm not a big fan of, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And as you can see, there's not much else here. I'm going to sell a couple of eggs, and we got some chickens, of course. Not a big fan of keeping wildlife, because that does reduce our speed, our overall speed on the world map. So yeah, 132,000, really not that good, but we were able to gain some significant influence and renown, and we also captured 2 castles in the process, which is pretty nice, right? I think that's pretty nice. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.